Welcome back everyone, it's time to go balls deep into Jujutsu Kaisen. Today we are discussing how Satoru Gojo became the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer and his tragic backstory. I know what you guys are thinking, Gojo is the strongest simply because his ability is so broken. And well, you aren't wrong. But there are a few very important things to happen to Gojo that really ascended him to be called the strongest and be looked at as the go-to guy in the Jujutsu world. By the way, before we start, a quick spoiler disclaimer. Yes, we are going to go over some manga content, so please be warned. Who am I kidding? I still know there'll be many comments saying, "You ruined the anime for me, anime balls." Gosh damn it, there's no winning. So let's just cue the disclaimer and get right into it.
Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning!
So Satoru Gojo is known as the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer because of his broken technique Limitless and his special 6 eyes. If you guys want more detailed information about his abilities, then check out our video on Gojo and his Jujutsu technique where we break everything down. But anyways, even with this powerful blessing, Gojo wasn't always considered to be the strongest. But ever since he was born, the Jujutsu world had changed. Gojo's birth is literally stated in chapter 96 to have changed the balance of the world. His birth was so epic that a secret assassination group had to put out a hit on him from the moment he came out of his mama's womb. This is why Toji himself went to see who Gojo was after hearing about so many cursed users who were afraid of him as a boy. And when Toji went to see him for himself, he was shocked because it was the first time anyone noticed his presence. For you guys who don't know, Toji Fushiguro is the father of Megumi. Due to heavenly restriction, he was born without any cursed energy. And I don't mean little cursed energy like Maki, I mean absolutely none. Toji became undetectable to other sorcerers and had made this trait into an unrelenting unique ability to help him assassinate his targets, as he was able to move through barriers undetected or even sneak past powerful sorcerers. Toji had made a name for himself as one of the most elite assassins within the Jujutsu world. So Gojo, just as a child, detecting his presence is such a frightening thing. In fact, there was 2 assassins who actually accepted the order to kill Gojo when he was still a young boy. But when they tried, they were scared shitless by Gojo, who noticed them from hundreds of feet away. Gojo just stared at them, uttering the words, "Don't look at me, weaklings." Yes, even as a boy, Gojo was just flexing on these assassins. My boy was becoming so strong, he sent a bunch of assassin cursed users and evil groups into hiding because of the state of the world had changed just from his existence. They no longer had freedom. So since birth, Gojo was pretty much destined to be the strongest and most influential sorcerer. But there was one person who seemed to be right next to him with that title, who was Satoru Geto. Satoru Geto was Gojo's one and only best friend and has the technique curse manipulation, allowing him to take control of curses like a Pokemon master. Listen, yeah, this guy was so OP, he can capture and make any curses his own and use it again later in battle. At their early ages, Geto and Gojo weren't too far apart, but what made it more interesting about Geto and Gojo was their different viewpoints at that time. Geto talked about using his strength to protect the weak and those who do not know about Jujutsu. He said that it was their duty as the strong to do so, and it is also the purpose of society. But Gojo, with his early mindset, took many jabs at the ideology, saying that it was destined for the weak to fall. He even says it was a pain to look out for the weak. Gojo stated that applying responsibility to Jujutsu is what weak people do. During their early years, they seemed to not get along with many altercations here and there, but that's expected as friends. Either way, the 2 of them were known as the strongest duo, and Gojo was very proud of this. He loved being Geto's partner, and the 2 of them would disagree at times, but they always found a way to work together. Gojo would say to Geto, "We're the strongest," implying that him and Geto were on a similar level, and Geto would agree. However, things began to change after a certain mission the 2 took together. This mission henceforth would change the dynamic between the boys, paving the way for Gojo to become who he is today, along with Geto to become one of the most dangerous cursed users the Jujutsu world had seen. This mission was given to the boys when they were only in their 2nd year of schooling and was given to them by Master Tengen himself. This mission was to secure the Star Plasma Vessel, the person who is supposed to be used as Master Tengen's vessel to keep the barrier in Japan stabilized. For those of you who are confused about now, let me quickly explain who Master Tengen is and the Star Plasma Vessel so everything makes sense.
I don't care!
care!
Firstly, we have yet to see Master Tengen himself in person. We have no idea how Tengen looks like or if there is any gender or anything else. All we know about him is from hearsay and from Principal Yaga. We know that Master Tengen is an immortal Jujutsu sorcerer who remains at all times within their chamber, the Tomb of the Star Corridor. Now this is to reinforce the barriers that protect both the Jujutsu high schools. Yes, this dude pretty much holds the stability for security.
I don't care!
With that, Master Tengen also has the curse technique of Immortality, but it doesn't stop his aging. Once Tengen ages, his curse technique will try to ascend his body and cause him to evolve, becoming something greater than a human. The issue with this is when that happens, Tengen will lose his sense of self and will, possibly even being a threat to mankind. Along with that, Master Tengen being the one who creates the barriers around the schools, strengthening the auxiliary managers and security. If he weren't in the picture, the schools and the Jujutsu headquarters will be in danger. So once every 500 years, Master Tengen has to combine with the Star Plasma Vessel, a person compatible with Tengen's technique, to rewrite his body information. Gojo actually makes a Digimon evolution reference to help him understand him better. We also know from chapter 74 that Master Tengen existed for a pretty long time, probably even since the creation of Jujutsu itself, as during the Nara period, Master Tengen was said to have preached a moral system akin to Buddhism, favoring minorities, along with establishing what would then be known as the foundation for Jujutsu sorcerers. Master Tengen is also revered by many and given an alias as the Sun by those who choose to worship him. However, due to this in the Nara period, a religious cult was formed around Tengen called the Star Globe Cult, who now goes by the Time Vessel Association. This cult not only worshipped Tengen as a star, but in the modern age they also believe that they are the representative of the non-sorcerers. However, the reason I'm mentioning this cult is because they play a huge part in Gojo's story. Due to having the absolute belief in Tengen, this cult sees the merger of Tengen to a human vessel is impure. Instead, they want Tengen to ascend. With this resolve, they will do whatever it takes from the merger to not happen. So we come back to our story with little Gojo and Geto, who are set on a mission to protect and bring Tengen's vessel, whilst not only fighting off this cult, but also another organization called Group Q, who are basically a bunch of weirdo cursed users trying to disrupt the Jujutsu world. But for Gojo and Geto, Group Q wasn't really much of a problem, as they handled them with ease. But to make things difficult, the Star religious group that worships Tengen as a god hired Toji, the OG assassin, the sorcerer killer. They offered him 30 million yen to off the Star Plasma Vessel so Tengen could evolve, and to do that he needed to take out Gojo and Geto. However, for Toji, the biggest threat in his eyes was Gojo, but being an elite assassin, he came up with a way to succeed in this mission. His plan was to meticulously wear Gojo down and force him to overuse his techniques. He did this by putting a huge bounty on the Plasma Vessel head on a website for cursed users. Toji, obviously knowing that none of these bounty hunters would succeed, he used them to drain Gojo and Geto's energy. Then he added some extra steps to take the boys off guard, giving them a false security that they have already succeeded. With that, as our boys were about to complete their mission and escort the Plasma Vessel to Tengen, Toji made his sneak attack, catching Gojo and Geto off guard just like he planned. However, that wasn't enough to take out our boy Gojo. From here on, Gojo and Toji fought while Geto goes ahead and then deliver the vessel to Tengen. But before I continue going over this battle, I have to explain the mindset of Gojo and Geto. With regards to the Star Plasma Vessel, Riko Amane, protecting her for some time, the boys not only made some good memories with her, but also felt she had a right to live her own life, not just as a vessel but as Riko herself. They made it clear that even though they were on a mission, they respected Riko's choice, as if she wanted to become Tengen or stay as Riko. This attachment would later affect the boys in a greater way than anyone can imagine. But coming back to the fight, Toji goes ham on Gojo, absolutely decimating him. I know you lot are probably thinking, what? How could someone be on par with Gojo, let alone decimate him? Well listen, you don't know how strong Toji is. This dude is freaking fierce. And due to Gojo being so reliant on tracking people with cursed energy, Toji had the advantage by not having any cursed energy at all, but just being extremely quick, smart and strong. Toji literally stabs our boy Gojo in his neck, his body, and stabs him in the head, leaving him out to bleed. After being done with Gojo, who seems pretty much dead at this point, he goes after Geto and does pretty much the exact same thing, making quick work of Geto as well. At this point, you're probably thinking, what? Did Anime Balls did just say that Toji took on both Geto and Gojo? Yes guys, this geezer just rinsed out your boy Gojo and then went right for his friend, making quick work of him too. In Toji's eyes at that moment, they're all just fodder. However, with Geto, he purposely left him alive because he wasn't sure what the cursed spirits under Geto control would do if he died. After putting Gojo and Geto down, he goes straight for the star plasma vessel, and honestly, this is probably one of the saddest moments in Jujutsu Kaisen. Yes guys, Toji completes his mission by killing her. She's dead and she ain't coming back. Now, just before Toji leaves with Riko's body, he still has to hand it over for proof, collecting his bounty. He needs the money, the man needs his money. You don't go out without paying the man.
Hello, I like money.
But before he does that, he gives a few parting words to Gojo and Geto. He said, with all of your blessings, you lost to a monkey like me who can't even use Jujutsu. Some parting words which cut deep to Gojo, deeper than any blade. Oh damn, I'm just stealing those good quotes. So after Toji hands over Riko's body to the cult to collect his monies, as he leaves the vicinity, Toji encounters Gojo. This time he's standing with a crazed look on his face. When Toji asks how did he survive, Gojo explains on how on the brink of his death he found the core of cursed energy and began to use reverse curse technique to heal all his wounds. This also upgraded Gojo's power input and strength, allowing him to float. Yes guys, this near-death experience ascended Gojo to the next level, a level which no one can comprehend, and Toji Fushiguro was the catalyst. And in this second round, Gojo just straight up kills Toji with no struggle at all. Gojo before this had some problems using his ability Hollow Purple, one of his AoE blast powers, but after feeling the core of cursed energy, it became much easier to use and he was just able to blast a hole in Toji's upper body, straight up taking his life. Now guys, we don't know what exactly the core of cursed energy is. I know a lot of you are thinking about what the heck is the shit, but at this point of the video, I might as well explain briefly what Gojo did with his cursed energy. All Gojo did was take his cursed energy and multiply it to create positive energy. The diagram Akutami uses in the volume notes describe it as negative times negative equals positive, which is basically simple maths, right? Gojo tapped into the core of cursed energy, giving him a deeper understanding of multiplying his energy, allowing him to use reverse curse techniques and heal himself. By the way guys, the reverse curse technique is the name and does not refer to his limitless technique. Gojo says the process is really complicated, and we also know that Shoka is quite proficient in using reverse curse techniques as well, as she uses it quite frequently to heal others in the present time. So reverse curse technique is a very difficult ability that requires the users to be extremely in tune with cursed energy. This made Gojo much stronger at base and began the gap between him and Geto. However, after the failure of this mission and the initial loss to Toji, Gojo began to train his limitless and six eyes. He started to wear blindfolds to dull down the amount of information the six eyes would give him, and to give his limitless technique the ability to auto block against attacks and be able to tell which attacks has cursed energy and which didn't. This is also when Suguro Geto started to feel the gap between himself and Gojo's strength, and even started to call Gojo the strongest in his own mind, basically confirming to himself that Gojo is superior than him. On top of feeling lesser than Gojo, Geto started feeling the negative pressure that came with being a Jujutsu sorcerer. He started noticing on how ungrateful regular humans were for the work that Jujutsu Sorcerer did. And on August 2007, yes I know it's a precise date, Yuki Tsukumo, a special grade sorcerer, met up with Geto and had a little pep talk on how they can stop cursed spirits from being created in the first place. Yuki gave some insight on how only humans create cursed energy indirectly. She explained that Jujutsu sorcerers and curse users do not really emit the cursed energy, only humans do, and when the humans do emit the cursed energy, it obviously turns into cursed spirits. Somehow from their conversation, Geto gets the brilliant idea, you know what, why don't we just exterminate all of the non-sorcerers? Wouldn't that deal with all of our problems? As if there are no humans who does not emit any cursed energy, no cursed energy means no cursed spirits. This idea causes Geto to distance himself from the Jujutsu school. He then kills his own parents who are regular humans. Like, who does that, right? My man's mad. I thought Tati was on a mad one, but this guy is just on a different level. He also decides against protecting any regular humans. He starts referring to them as monkeys because, going back, remember Toji called himself a monkey without Jujutsu after almost trying to kill Geto. This leads Geto to be marked as wanted and Gojo goes after him himself. When the two meet, that is when Geto asks Gojo the question, are you Satoru Gojo because you're the strongest, or are you the strongest because you are Satoru Gojo? Confused? Well, basically Geto is asking Gojo if he is the strongest because he wanted to be and worked for it, or if he's the strongest stronger just because he was born Gojo blessed by his genetics. This makes Gojo question his purpose and goals as a Jujutsu sorcerer and finally decides what he wants to achieve as the strongest, which eventually becomes to change the Jujutsu world from the inside out. Gojo from then on continued to hone his powers and get stronger to the point that he has a massive pull within the Jujutsu world and then is seen as the one-man team of the Gojo clan. This is also why he has so much authority, as he was able to postpone both Yuji and Yuta's execution. If you guys do not know who Yuta is, we are going to do who Yuta Okotsu is in the future, so make sure you subscribe and you have that notification bell dinged, because otherwise you're gonna miss our content. But anyways, Gojo's goal is to raise strong comrades to help him reshape the Jujutsu world into a new image, and he also wants the world of sorcerers to become stronger so they don't have to rely on his existence anymore. That's how Satoru Gojo became the strongest sorcerer in this current era. He became as strong as he is because of Toji, and his mindset and goal formed because of his best friend Geto going to the dark side. His influence and respect is definitely something he had since birth, but how he handles it is what truly defines Satoru Gojo. And plus, it's a good thing he didn't side with Geto, because the whole world would be destroyed. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoy our content and you want to help improve the JJK community, then make sure you smash the like button, you're subscribed, and you ding that notification bell on. Also check out Dancho's hideout, who we have linked in the pinned comment section below. He helps us out thoroughly with JJK content and is very well versed in its universe. Anyway guys, with that, I'll catch you lot till next time.